Today I'm finally rebuilding my apartment gaming and streaming setup because I've been using this one for a while and it could use an upgrade. As you can see, I'm definitely gonna be able to use this Corsair gaming chair. Really excited for this. I've never really owned a real gaming chair. It's probably a bad choice. I'm also really excited about testing out this microphone here. This here is called the Mod Mic and this clips onto your headset. Basically, it's just a big upgrade for a normal headset microphone. I'm gonna have to use the 3M tape to tape it on the headset and it just replaces this. However, you can see the box right here. I bought the upgrade to the very popular Arctis 7. Well, looking at this, it looks like it's the Pro version, so it's the upgrade to the Pro version of this here. This here is the Nova Pro Wireless, and it should be amazing. However, what I want to start with is the desk. Now, I did use this desk in a previous video. It's from FlexiSpot. It was an amazing desk. I'm quickly going to assemble this desk on the cardboard. Having this much desk space is gonna be so much better than that desk. So the top of the desk comes in 3 parts. They are very easy to attach together. Now, in the previous video, I did complain about these lines here because, well, you can clearly see where the parts are attached together. However, I did use the desk for a while and it absolutely didn't bother me at all. The next thing we need are the electric legs for the desk. I do want to try to stand a bit more while working on stuff because, well, I'm sitting a lot. So I just finished attaching the main frame to the desk. It has this whole steel structure that will hold everything that we need to attach to it later, like the motorized legs. And it also holds the control unit and the power supply to which we need to connect the legs. Now, let's get this desk out of the way. By the way, this is a heavy desk. If you remember my mystery setup video, my assistant bought this desk there. And it was a complete RGB gaming desk. However, it doesn't really fit my living room here. It was a temporary desk. It was also kind of a quirky desk because, as you can see here, there's a drink holder. Now, if I see something like this on a desk, it's immediately written off for me. It feels like a desk for kids. I don't know. So let's get this out of the way. This desk is definitely way heavier. My only concern with this desk is if it's gonna be too big for this corner. I hope it's not gonna be. By the way, this here is the PC that I'm still gonna use in the setup. I've built this PC a while back on the channel, but as you can see, I've been using it without the stand and it looks way better with. It's the Azza Cube. It looks amazing. So I wanted to be kind of an eye catcher right here. Let's see if there's gonna be enough room for this desk. I think it'll be perfect. I'm gonna replace this with a black power strip, but let's try. I'm gonna set this desk to a higher position to get a great feel of it. Also, can't wait to build a Corsair gaming chair. This one is kind of broken, but look at the amount of space I'm gonna have here. This is gonna be amazing. I hope there is still room left for my dining room table, but let's be fair, I'm gonna be eating in front of my PC anyway. Now, between all this stuff here, that's mostly gonna be for future videos. I have 3 floating shelves, however, I wanna use 2 of them. And they are part, like behind my address, they are gonna be part of a future setup that's gonna be a Star Wars setup. I actually don't entirely know what this is because my assistant bought all this stuff as a mystery Star Wars streaming setup. The thing I'm absolutely most excited about is 2 Star Wars lightsabers. This is absolutely amazing. What is this? Looks like it's an animated desk companion. No, I'm getting distracted. I'm gonna steal these 2 floating shelves from this setup because I want to install them above my home setup. And let me show you something really cool. This here is a laser printer that a company sent me a while back. And as you can see, I've been doing some testing with it. I've printed out my own logo. Now, what I want to do is I want to take one of these floating shelves and then create a really big 3D N logo. So basically what I'm gonna do, these are the wrong parts, but I'm gonna print out the same logo a few times and then I'm gonna tape all the parts together to make a really thick 3D N logo. And I think I'm gonna need pretty much all of this plywood here. However, you gotta see how this laser printer works. It's really cool. So the first thing you do is you get your design ready in the software. Then for this 3D logo, I'm gonna choose to cut the wood. As you can see, I've also selected my type of wood here. And then we're gonna click on process. Now, as you'll be able to see, there is something else here. And this is a device that I can turn on. And as you can see, it starts making a lot of noise. Let me turn it off real quick. So this is a pump that's blowing air through this tube here and it travels all the way down here and gets blown onto the wood in order to cool down the wood. And this is to reduce the burning. So as you can see on the back, it's pretty bad, but on the front, it's extremely clean. And that's partly because of all this air that's blowing down on it. So we're pretty much ready to print now. What I'm gonna do now is framing. And as you can see, it's gonna mark the territory that is gonna laser. So if this laser now moves outside of the wooden area, then it's gonna laser my desk and we don't want that. But it stayed within the area of the plywood. So I'm gonna click on start, click right here, and it is gonna start lasering. Now, I did forget the air pump, so let's turn it on. It's gonna be very loud now. My neighbors are gonna hate me, and I will show you a time lapse of this. All right, let's see what it looks like. I'm gonna take this off. I feel like it was like kind of pixelated around the edges, if that's how I can call it, but I think that's pretty decent, right? As you can see, very dirty on the back, but very, very clean on the front. Now, back at my apartment, I did set up my laser leveler. I think that's what it's called. I also clearly forgot to set the camera to autofocus. This is very blurry. But then I did some testing with the floating shelves and some stuff to put onto it. But until this point, I hadn't really realized that these shelves are gray and not black, and they absolutely do not fit my desk. So to be fair, at this point, I don't really know what I'm gonna do with the blank wall above the setup. All right, now I texted a friend who just moved into a new house because I thought I remembered he had an extra floating shelf, and turns out he has 2 of them. They are black. Ooh, this is a fancy packaging and with a completely separate audio interface. So anyway, I'm gonna go get those floating shelves in a few hours. Ooh, these look amazing. This is such an upgrade from the previous ones. The cushions also feel extremely soft. I guess this is gonna be a bunch of cables, 3 of them. Now, the reason I went for a SteelSeries again is because this headset here, the SteelSeries Arctis 7, it's extremely popular. It is completely wireless. There's also a cheaper wired version. I think it's the Arctis 3. But the main reason why I think this headset is so amazing is this elastic here. When you put this headset on your head, the top frame here, the hard frame, isn't touching your head. The only thing touching my head is the elastic. And because of that, even if you wear it for literally 10 hours straight, you just forget it's on your head. And of course, the upgraded Arctis Nova plus the Pro version definitely has that same elastic, and wow, it feels amazing on my head. It also removes quite a bit of background sound. And look at this, it comes with an extra battery. So when you take one of the side parts off, you can see that there's a battery in here. So this means that whenever the headset is empty, instead of having to plug in the cable and then using it wired, you can just pop this battery out, plug in the other one, and then use it wirelessly while this battery is charging. Now you might be wondering, by the way, really looking forward to upgrading this chair. I've never really had a gaming chair, but you might be wondering if this headset, which you already had, is also amazing and it still works, why are you upgrading to this one? And well, my editor will show you some footage, but what you're seeing right now is my dad building a completely new set in my studio for me. When I still lived with my parents, they gave me the biggest room in the house to use as my studio, and my dad helped me to paint it, to decorate it, to build the whole studio there. And he helped me even more over here. We basically transformed the whole apartment into a studio. We redid the floors, we built false walls, we painted it. I have a storage room that he built, and recently he told me he needs a work from home setup. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use one of these 2 for his setup. I'm gonna build him a complete setup. So either way, I had to buy another one. We're gonna check out this right now, and then I'll see if he can use this or not. So at this point, I made a little road trip. I got the floating shelves from my friend, and then I quickly went to my storage unit in the basement, which by the way is a complete mess. Look at this, holy. However, I do remember where everything is because this is the stand of my PC case, and I'm looking forward to checking it out here in the setup because it's been a while since I've used the stand of this case. Oh, this PC is definitely really heavy. Let's see what it looks like. All right, this is a giant case. My monitor is gonna have to move to the side even more in order to make sure that this has enough space around it. Look at the size of this case on this desk. I think I'm gonna call this the women repeller because let's be fair, that's pretty much what it is. But I promise you, you're gonna be shocked when you see the RGB on these fans. It looks amazing. Now it's time to install this monitor on the monitor arm because, well, I wanna install all the other peripherals and I wanna know which space I have left, which is gonna be like all of it because it's a monitor arm. But I also want to give a giant thanks to the sponsor who made this build possible, Likt. Likt honestly is an amazing service for creators who want to use mainstream music in their videos. They have a massive library of over 1 million mainstream songs that are all ready to be used in your content. And just so there's no confusion, these are real mainstream songs, like this one for example. It's pretty crazy that you can use a song like this in your content. Usually that wouldn't be possible. And you gotta be honest, there's no way that using a song like this in your content doesn't make it more enjoyable. Now, besides their 1 million plus mainstream songs, they also have a library of over 100,000 stock tracks, and those can all be used in your content with a simple subscription. Likt has multiple case studies showing the benefit of using their mainstream songs in your videos, and according to them, creators who use mainstream music from Likt in their videos receive
achieve more views, more comments, more ad revenue. And they especially saw a crazy increase in the amount of shares, which according to me is probably because people have a way stronger reaction to content that has recognizable music in it. Now, the way I am planning to use Licked in the future in my own content is by using popular music during B-roll segments or time lapses when I'm building a setup, for example. And those parts could definitely be more interesting with popular mainstream music on them. So if you want to make a great content with recognizable music, then click the first link in my description and you will get a 50% discount on your first mainstream song, as well as 14 days of royalty-free music completely for free. Thanks to Licked for sponsoring this channel, and now back to the video.
These are definitely not the right screws for this backplate, but I can't seem to find the original one. Let's move the desk a bit so we can connect this on the back. Alright, so the monitor has been installed and look at how clean this looks. This is amazing. Using a monitor arm immediately makes the setup look so much more clean. Now this monitor arm, I will link it in the description. It definitely wasn't cheap, but it's a great one. It's for heavy monitors and it also has cable management on the bottom. One of the parts needs to be screwed off in order to tuck the cables away. The other part just shoves off it and can easily be reconnected. And using a cable management arm like this makes it very, very clean, especially for here in my living room. I definitely wouldn't want all my cables to be visible. Now, I've said this a lot during this video, but I'm so excited for this gaming chair. As I said before, it's the first gaming chair I ever bought. Well, technically I have bought a gaming chair before, the one from wish.com, the red one. I've used it in a lot of videos just to use as a prop. However, I'm not really sure if I can count that as a real gaming chair experience because it was a very crappy chair. Oh wow, this chair perfectly fits my whole living room, like all the colors of the chairs, of the floor, of the table. I assume this is going to be a neck pillow. Usually I don't use these things, but this feels very comfortable. Then what I assume to be the lumbar support. Oh, this looks extremely clean. Now people always say gaming chairs aren't ergonomic and we'll have to test this one, but as you can see, it perfectly fits around my back and here on the side. Now I'm not gonna bore you with the whole building of this chair, so here's a quick time lapse. Now attaching this recline mechanism to the back of the chair definitely isn't easy because these screws just don't want to go in. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but nothing really aligns. Oh, did you hear that? It snapped into place and just like that we can screw in the last screw now. Tighten it, and it is time to connect it to the stand. Luckily I thought about this, I completely forgot. So let's see if we can just make this fall on top of it. I assume so. Alright, let's wiggle a bit and I think it'll be okay. Let's see how sturdy it is. If I sit on it, maybe I'll get launched into the air. Okay, the back definitely needs to move. Now, I'm not sure if I'll be able to change this, but I feel like I'm in a racing chair. I'm completely leaned backwards. That's not good. Is it supposed to do it? Okay, I think I can change it here on the bottom by tightening this. I actually don't think it helped. I think this here on the bottom is to allow you to lean backwards or not. Now it's really tight. However, as you can see from the side, I'm still leaned backwards. Now, next I wanted to install the floating shelves. However, I also want this desk to work in a standing desk position. So I raised the desk first to a position that would work, and then I tested around with the shelves to figure out an optimal position for both of them. Now this desk is huge, so I had to move it out of the way, and to be completely honest, I didn't really trust this laser. So I measured the height of the laser for both sides and it should be no surprise, but it matched perfectly. Now the next thing was the most stressful part. I had to draw the holes that I was going to drill afterwards. Now if you mess up this part then your shelves won't be straight. Now the electric screwdriver I have couldn't really drill deep enough into the wall, so I made another road trip, this time to my parents, and I got my dad's heavy duty drill, so I really hope that this is gonna do it. I think it will. Now as a quick tip, you can always put a piece of tape on your drill so that way you know how deep you have to drill into the wall. Alright, let's try and see if this is strong enough. By the way, a great tip, you can always take a vacuum and then hold it underneath it, and then everything that comes out of the wall will immediately be vacuumed. Alright, that was very easy. Let's see if it's deep enough. Gonna need a hammer. Well, I assume we can use this as a hammer, so it's at least a bit useful. Oh crap. Alright, the hole needs to be a bit deeper. Let's put in the plug, make sure it's completely in, and then let's hope my measurements were right. Let's hope the other side fits. It barely does, but I think we'll make it work. That definitely won't come off again. I do not think that this is completely leveled. I guess we'll quickly see when I shove on one of these shelves. Good God, let's hope so. Let's try and see if it is leveled. And as you can see, it's not completely perfect. This side should be a bit higher, but it's definitely not a bad attempt. Now I managed to do the shelves and I think they look absolutely amazing. I think this one is good like it is, but we need the N logo right there next to the plant. Now I'm really looking forward to checking out this microphone here. It's really unique. The webcam as well, but you've probably heard about it before. However, we need to assemble my logo for on the floating shelves. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this double-sided tape and then I'm gonna tape it on the logo, take off the protective peel, and then this way I'll be able to tape on all the parts and then make layers. And as you see, I just did one. I hope this will give a very cool 3D effect from the side when I have a few of these. So I'm not gonna bore you with this whole process. I'll show a quick time lapse of me attaching all of these parts, and then now we can add it to the floating shelf. Look at this, it's absolutely amazing. It was definitely a lot of work to make this, but I think it's pretty creative and it's a great way to bring my YouTube channel into my living room. Now the mouse I'm using in this setup is the Razer Naga Pro. It is wireless and the numpad on the side, the micro buttons are extremely convenient for playing MMOs. I absolutely love this mouse. Just like I love this keyboard, this is the Apex Pro and it has been my favorite keyboard for a very long time. It's the Lightspeed version, the switches are amazing, they are linear. Oh, and I hadn't talked about this before, but the monitor also has RGB on the back. You can set it to blue to match this setup. I've had this monitor for a while. Actually, it was in my first build on this channel, but I've just been loving it so far and I've never really upgraded to like a main ultra-wide high budget monitor. It is 3840 by 1600 pixels, which means it's kind of 4K with the top being cropped off. It's an IPS monitor, 1 millisecond response time, G-Sync, and most importantly, it's 38 inch, which means that it's bigger than the usual 34 inch ultra-wides. However, lately there's a lot of great monitors that came out. Mini LED monitors, OLED monitors, really big ultra-wides, and I gotta say I've been thinking about buying a crazy monitor, but then for the studio on the other side, can't really decide between the Samsung G9 monitors or to go for like a normal ultra-wide but maybe a bigger one. Let me know in the comments which monitor is your dream monitor. Now I'm gonna test the microphone and the webcam together. The webcam, you might have heard of it before, it's the Insta360 and this is the most premium feeling webcam that I've ever held in my hand. It is heavy, it is sturdy, it looks great on a monitor, let's be honest. Now this webcam, the Insta360 link, was part of a dedicated video I did a while back on the channel and I had used this webcam before doing that video. It's the reason I wanted to do the video and I'm using it right now because I just want it here in the setup. If I'm doing a call with a sponsor, there's a pretty big chance I'm doing it here in my living room, the webcam right there. And as you can see from the b-roll in that video, the webcam just kept tracking me around. It's amazing. And let's be honest, if you look at the image quality, this doesn't look like it came from a webcam. Okay, now before checking out the webcam here in the setup, the thing I've been looking forward to during this whole build, this microphone. So this got sent to me a while back. This is called the ModMic Wireless. They probably don't even remember sending me this anymore because it's literally like 1 or 2 years ago. I'm gonna look up the price here. All right, so apparently on Amazon the price is $140, which definitely isn't cheap, but it has outstanding ratings, so I'm really looking forward to testing this. It has 3M tape right here, and using that I will be able to connect it to my headset. So I'm just gonna press it on. I think that's how you should do it. Oops. Okay, so it has a magnetic cap. So with that, I can actually remove it and then just clip it back on. Oh, okay, so you can remove the microphone itself as well. I'll show it a bit closer here. So the microphone also just clicks off and then, well, not clicking, it's magnetic. You can also reposition the microphone using the magnets. Okay, so let's put on this headset and the microphone. Okay, and I just added the webcam, and as you can see, it's already tracking me. When I move around, the webcam is just going to follow me. And just as I expected, I mean, look at the quality of the webcam right now. I'm gonna look at it. First of all, the quality is absolutely amazing, but second of all, there is no light coming from the front of me, and the webcam still looks absolutely gorgeous. My video lights are actually on the side and then kind of on the back of me. Well, I forgot it's not a tracking webcam, so I can actually show you. So that light is right there, and then if I move a bit, there's another one right there. And if I move to this side, the lights are on my face. The webcam will obviously adjust, but this side of my face is pretty much completely dark. And there is no noise, there's no grain. It's not a black spot over here and then kind of good over here. Nope, this webcam is absolutely amazing. I love it. Now, one thing that changed about the Insta360 since I made the video that I mentioned before, which probably was like a month ago. So usually when you would be using the Insta360 and you close your call, you close the program, etc., the webcam would go to sleep mode, which is amazing. However, then when you start using it again or you start another call, the webcam would go to the standard position. And maybe you're sitting over here and the standard position isn't really literally filming you. And then the webcam would be stuck like that and you would have to go in the frame again, link the webcam again, link it to you. I mean, that's a hassle. And they've let me know that with the new software, when you start the link again, it will start, go to the last position, and then from there on it will look for you and then immediately snap onto you, and that's very convenient. Let's hope this microphone is going to sound professional, because that would be great. Now, it is Bluetooth and I'm not really sure if it has a USB to plug into the PC. Oh my. So it does come with a USB receiver, which makes sense for a high-speed connection, so that while your webcam is recording for video and then what this mic is recording for audio doesn't have a big delay. The fact is pretty funny actually. I've had this USB laying around in my studio for over a year. I had no clue what it was for, but I kept it, and well, luckily I did. Let's plug it in. Let's turn on the microphone. Okay, so the blue light keeps shining. I think it's connected. I think we can test it. But what you're hearing right now is the quality of this microphone right here. The Mod Mic wireless is recording me at the moment. And so as a comparison, as you can see, there's a microphone taped on the back of my shirt. It is right here. You can actually see the tape. However, the price of this mic is $500. It is being recorded with a $300 recorder. You could also send it to a camera, which cost probably $400 or $500. And I mean, then on the other hand, you have this here, the Mod Mic. It's also completely wireless. It's going to my PC, and well, you can be the judge of the quality. Now, I really enjoyed building this setup. I'm pretty happy with the end result. This definitely fits my living room. I didn't want the setup to be too gamer-like, but it still has RGB, it has an ultra-wide, the PC case is really cool, and I'm looking forward to building an epic, crazy setup in the studio. Links to all of these parts will be in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope I will see you in one of my next videos. Have a nice day.